That's right. If you look at Mr. Biodun Ajiboye, if you can hear me, I love the background that you actually brought to this conversation because, seeing this story and then the trajectory, the federal government is, driving this new initiative. One will wonder exactly what do they want to achieve? Customs, dressing, languages, and all of those things, come together to describe us as a people, or to also talk to us, to also, explain our cultural values and leanings. But I'm trying to understand what the global cultural digital platform, Doodle Plugs, seeks to achieve, the objective for creating it, and the reason why it is named Doodle Plugs. Could you speak to us about that?
Very simple, and I'll explain very well. The background I laid was to first of all understand how important culture is to us. The second step is to say, okay, what do we regard as cultural diplomacy? The world as a whole has come to recognize the importance of culture. So when the world came together in 2000 for the Millennium Development Goals, they realized that, the United Nations realized that they left culture behind. Okay, so by 2001, with that realization, UNESCO, an organ of United Nations, adopted a Universal Declaration on Cultural Diversity to correct the initial error. By 2002, the idea to choose 21st of May as World Cultural Day came to fore. You understand? So therefore, the world realizes the importance of culture. And if you observe, culture is one thing that the global forces respect a lot. Even in war, there are sacred places you don't bomb, you don't aggress, you don't destroy. Respect for culture is universal. So therefore, today is World Culture Day. We are celebrating the World Culture Day today as a result of that United Nations Declaration. So, Nigeria is one of those countries in the world with the best, richest culture. However diverse those cultures are. Remember in the past, we didn't have a Yoruba nation as such as we have now. We had the ethnic nationalities, the Igbominas, the Ijeshas, the Ijebus, the Oyos, the Ifes, and all of that. That is a multicultural diversity. We came together at some point to say, look, all of these people speak the same language. They should be referred to as one people. That was how Yoruba came to be. So, the global digital cultural platform is packaging the entirety of our culture, Nigeria's culture, not Yoruba culture. Hausa, Igbo, Fulani, Ibibio, Shekiri, Kanuri, Nupe, and all of that. We are packaging it together and putting it in the center of the world for the world to appreciate us better. Again, I want to refocus your mind again to the fact that as bad as slave trade was some 500, 600, 400 to 600 years ago, they took our slaves, they took us as slaves to the Caribbeans. Out of everything they took away from us, they were not able to take our spirituality. And the Yoruba people in Brazil and Cuba, Trinidad and Tobago and a few other places have established their colony based on their spirituality. And they are thriving today. And they are beginning to be a force the world is looking at. So, Doodle Plugs is an attempt to package our culture for global recognition, global appreciation.
All right, and that's where my question is. My next question is, when you talk about packaging, how do you mean? And you said you're putting this package at the center of the world for the world to see. Break it down for us what you mean by putting it at the center of the world for people across the world to see, and how this will invariably perhaps change the mindset of people towards Nigerians.
I spoke about cultural diplomacy. Cultural diplomacy simply is, how do we relate with other countries using our culture? We're not speaking to ourselves, we're speaking to the world. You can't remain here and begin to talk and speak to yourself. Let us speak to the world. Let us begin to re-emphasize the importance of ourselves. Let the world appreciate us better. If the world appreciates us better, a lot of other things will follow. That's exactly the essence of it. How do we do that? The platform is established to appreciate our culture for everyone around the world to be able to see me. Take for instance, something like Facebook, for instance. Facebook is seen from any part of the world and appreciate, and a lot of things goes on there. We're trying to create something that will make the world focus on our culture. Don't forget again that the Nigerian culture has well over 800 million enthusiasts all around the world. These 800 million people deserve to be serviced, to be given the right toga of our culture, so that it does not stand the chance of being misinterpreted or misunderstood. And that's exactly the essence of it. Don't forget, it has its own economic value. Nigeria needs all hands on deck to generate foreign exchange. Another reason. And why are we in this kind of quagmire with respect to exchange rates? Because we are not a productive economy. And when we say productive economy, does not stop at manufacturing. Culture and tourism have a lot to offer. We are coming to the table with those offerings that can increase our earnings as a nation, increase our respect as a nation before the world. And that's exactly the point.
Now, don't you think that there would be the question of why are we not speaking with ourselves as a people before we are looking at speaking with others outside the country? We saw what happened leading up to the election, where a lot of people were talking about the ethnic bias and all of that. We are yet to win ourselves off all of that, and you think we are ready to speak with the world about our culture?
Whether we choose to speak to the world or not, our culture remains our culture. So the earlier we speak to the world, the better. There is no country in the world that does not have ethnic strives. Ethnic strives is as a function of humanity. That does not mean that we will spend the whole of eternity trying to solve ethnic problems.
From whom?
That's not the point. The point is, what have we lost at home? Our ethnic strife that seems to be eating some critics up is not enough for us to abandon our culture. As a matter of fact, everything you see as ethnic strife were politically motivated. They were not there as young people. We didn't see a lot of that. You travel by road from Lagos to Maiduguri, nothing happens. You even sleep on the road, nothing happens. So the question of ethnic strife is a political issue, and we can even use culture to solve it. So let us begin to see culture as a panacea for peace, as an antidote, as a solution to the problems. And I'll tell you why I say so. By virtue of our cultural value as a people, we're not a dangerous and dishonest people. Every vice you see in this society today, from corruption to banditry to hatred to dishonesty, is as a result of the fact that we have lost our cultural value. The young people no longer understand what it is to respect ourselves. And that is what the Chinese realized early in their development, that their cultural values should be imbued into their policy-making process and their legal and their laws and their development. We missed it out. We can begin to work on it now. That's exactly what we're doing. So I do not agree that because we have ethnic stripes, is there no ethnic stripes in India? Is there no ethnic stripe in China? So the bigger your head, the bigger the headache.